Director General, Ministers, Excellencies, Frau Vizebürgermeisterin, distinguished participants of the Vienna Energy Forum, it's a great pleasure and privilege for me to convey to you the best wishes of the Austrian Minister for Agriculture, Forestry, Environment and Water Management, Mr. André Rupprechter. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us today due to the fact that he has to stay in bed with a very, very strong flu since yesterday evening. And now it's my privilege to convey the best wishes and to deliver the speech of Mr. Rupprechter. But before I start with Minister Rupprechter's speech, I just want to say that I'm very pleased to be able to welcome a person here on the forum who could play a role in the field of climate change in the future that is even much larger than it is present. It's Professor Nakicenovic, the well-known worldwide expert in the field of climate change. And as many of you know, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, will elect a new chair in October this year. And with Professor Nakicenovic, Austria has an excellent candidate for this position, and I can say that we fully support his nomination. Now I will deliver Mr. Rupprechter's speech. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vienna Energy Forum takes place at a very crucial time. We are on the road to Paris for a new global climate agreement, and we will adopt the Sustainable Development Goals at the UN summit in September, where energy features very prominently. Thanks also to Sustainable Energy for All, to Mr. Keller, for his tireless efforts to bring energy on top of the political agenda. This endeavor began years ago, also here in Vienna, and will now bear fruits in New York. However, the summit in New York will not be the end, but the beginning. We have to change our energy systems worldwide. Energy will be the core of fighting poverty and combating climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time. It is a global problem, and as such, it requires global solutions. Negotiations are ongoing, and we cannot yet anticipate the final shape of the deal. But the key elements that must be addressed are clear. We need a global and comprehensive agreement, a Paris Protocol that is legally binding and reflects the maximum ambition from everyone, in line with our common 2 degrees target. We need ambitious mitigation contributions, INDCs, from all parties. We need a solid outcome and adaptation, and we must also send a strong message to our partners on climate finance. The European Union is delivering on these elements. The European Union just communicated the INDCs with an EU emission reduction target of at least 40% below 1990 levels by 2030. Austria is aware of its responsibility to support global efforts in the fields of clean energy and climate change mitigation and adaptation. The Austrian strategy on international climate finance was adopted in 2013, and our ministry supports a range of projects in several countries, many of them targeted at renewable energy and energy efficiency. To give you just one example, Austria supports the 10th call of REAP, the Renewable Energy and Efficiency Partnership. In focus are special business models for clean energy in developing countries. Some projects were selected recently. We also contribute to the Green Climate Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, Paris is a critical milestone, and I genuinely hope that it will be a turning point in international cooperation on climate change. Reaching this goal, we are currently facing big challenges: the low price of oil and the strong dependence on fossil fuels. Europe depends to 54% on fossil fuels imports, making it important to further develop our environmental policy instruments, and to discuss and set the political framework requirements for renewables and energy efficiency. In Austria, we have a high share of renewable energy. In 2013, the share was 32.5%, and in the field of electricity, more than 80% was produced by renewable energies. This is not the only characteristic of Austria's long-standing energy policy. We also do not consider nuclear power as compatible with the concept of sustainable development. In the Austrian view, reliance on nuclear power is neither a viable nor a cost-efficient option to combat the greenhouse effect either. We strictly reject any kind of direct or indirect subsidies to nuclear energy. The skeptical view regarding nuclear power is not the reason lying behind our decision to challenge the European Commission decision on the state aid for Hinkley Point C nuclear power plant. As mentioned, Austria fully respects every country's sovereign right to decide on its national energy mix, but the planned state aid for Hinkley Point C is meant to support technology with negative environmental effects on the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the topic of this year's Vienna Energy Forum, sustainable energy for inclusive development. As already mentioned, energy will be at the core of fighting poverty and combating climate change. The findings of the special report on energy and climate change, just published this week by the International Energy Agency, are promising. Energy-related emissions may start to decouple. We have to reduce oil and coal use and boost renewable energy. You will hear more about this report in one of the panels tomorrow. In closing, let me thank UNIDO, EASA, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and all partners of the Vienna Energy Forum for setting up such a high-level conference. I wish you all fruitful discussions leading to a sustainable energy future for all. This is the end of Mr. Ruppel's speech. Thank you.